What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the PLL Weekly Recap. I'm your host, Thief Strings, and today you're going over Week 5, Game 1, Redwoods, Cannons. This week, the PLL makes their historic return to the Boston Cannons' old stomping grounds, which if you didn't know, the Boston Cannons were one of the original 6 teams in the old professional league. They were, of course, brought back in the expansion draft for the PLL, and this is the first time that they're able to come back and play at their old home arena, have a real homecoming, and it's honestly a pretty significant moment for the culture of professional lacrosse. So we get treated to quite the interesting matchup between one of the original 6 MLL teams and one of the original 6 PLL teams, the Redwoods. The Cannons had a very impressive game last week where they put up 5 2-point goals, which was able to give them the edge against the Archers. If they're able to play similar to how they did last week, I think that they definitely will have a strong chance of beating the Redwoods this week, who haven't had the hottest start to the season. They haven't been playing great. They so far have not been able to get a single win on the season. So if the Cannons can continue their great form, they should be in for a win this week. This is, of course, their first of 2 games this weekend. Since they're the home team in the home city, they will be playing back-to-back days. One half of the Kavanagh brothers is back for the Cannons. That is Matt Kavanagh, as Pat Kavanagh is still out injured. I don't think it's anything too significant. I assume he'll be back in a week or two. They haven't really disclosed exactly what the injury is. It's probably just some sort of small knock, wear and tear from the long season Pat had in the NCAA. Hopefully we'll see him back soon to play with his brother. Speaking of brothers, Cole Kirst is not included in the lineup this week for the Redwoods, so he does not get the opportunity to play against his 2 brothers, Connor and Colin, on the Cannons. Why in the world did the Kirst family decide to name all 3 of their sons in the professional league with first names starting with the letter C? You've got Cole, you got Colin, you got Connor. There's a CJ Kirst too. You guys need to switch up the naming here. Guys, I was editing this video, doing a little research, and I found out there's a 5th Kirst named Caden. So you're telling me you've got 5 sons who all have first names starting with the letter C? This can't be real. Like, I'm being pranked, right? Like, someone tell me, come on, you can't be.
A few moments later.
Speaking of the Redwoods, a lot of people have not been happy with their head coach, Nat St. Laurent, just not thinking that he's done that good of a job for them this season. Some interesting decisions as far as some of their roster moves, some of the trades in the offseason, some of the lineups that they've been picking this season so far. Now, as a Redwoods fan, I haven't really commented on this. I haven't been super happy with Nat. I mean, I get where a lot of people are coming from, but I think he deserves at least a chance through this game, but he is definitely somewhat on the hot seat. Chris Gray is back playing his natural position for the Redwoods. He is listed as an attackman for this game. Ricky Maezon, the 6th star former Stanford football player, he is activated and in the lineup this week as a D-midi. Nakai Montgomery has also had a slight change of positions. He's listed as a midfielder, M, and not an SSDM, so that's kind of interesting because the Redwoods need a lot more production from their midfield. Almost all of their points and production so far this season has come from their stacked attack line and almost nothing from their midfield, which is very disappointing. So without any further ado, let's get right into the game. So the first highlight of the game comes in the first quarter, about halfway through the quarter, honestly. It wasn't too exciting in the beginning of this game. And this honestly isn't even really a real highlight. It's just a quick little play I wanted to show you where Rob Panell slips while dodging, but shows off his balance and just how skilled he is. He's able to get a quick one-handed pass away to the next attackman. A few minutes later, Marcus Holman treats us to a nice, slick, silky play, 1 week removed from him becoming the 3rd all-time goal scorer in the history of professional lacrosse. He is able to lose his man, catch him sleeping, cuts from X, and just in one simple motion catches it and puts out a backhand finish on the Redwoods goalie. Good off-ball movement here. Definitely a lot of skill to kind of catch that thing and twist your wrists around to get that backhand, almost shovel shot finish in one swift motion. On the very next possession, Wes Berg shows us what he's all about. He doesn't need much time at all on the ball to score. He gets a feed from Rob Panell, draws the slide, and just a slick catches it right in the crease behind the back finish, pretty much in one motion. He needs the ball for maybe about like 5 seconds a game, and that's all he needs to give you all the production to validate him being a starting attackman. It's not even a really great feed from Rob Panell, honestly. He did a good job fighting him, but it was a little low, a little bit below his waist, but even still, Westberg able to catch that thing, bring all the way back around for that BTB finish. Early in the quarter, Asher Nolting did try a few creative moves, creative finishes, but they didn't look that great, honestly. I mean, his form was okay, but the shots were just kind of wild, nowhere near the net. The Redwoods respond with a little bit of creativity of their own. Rob Panell does his best attempt at a shovel shot finish, saved by the goalie, picked up by Westberg. Westberg runs to his right. He throws behind the back pass to Chris Gray, who for no reason spins around and tries to put a lot on his own shovel shot. 360 spinning shovel shot, unsuccessful, but it's kind of wild to see 3 like funky creative passes or shots like that in a row. You've got the Rob Panell backhand into the Westberg behind the back, into the Chris Gray, Spin for almost no reason. I haven't seen that much, but hey, I mean, A+ for trying. Early on in the second corner, the Redwoods are man up. Chris Gray has the ball, throws a super slick, super clean no-look pass to Ryder Garnsey right in the crease, but he is not able to put it away. Great saves by Kirst in net. Which Kirst is that again? I don't know. C Kirst. I'm calling them all C Kirst because they are all C Kirst. I don't get it. Incredible save though. I don't know how he got to that. A few minutes later, the Cannons have a man-up opportunity of their own. Asher Nolting swings it to Marcus Holman, who absolutely snipes this corner. He shows why he is one of the most accurate players in the league as far as shooting goes. We know he's won a lot of those All-Star Game accuracy competitions, and he shows it's not just a facade. It's not just for the cameras and those All-Star events. That stuff translates to real games like that. I mean, wow, you cannot get much more top corner than that. And he gets that stick side high on Jack Kelly too. So incredible shot by Holman. I'm sure he practices that about 1,000,000 times a day. Super fundamental high to high finish on that shot. That play by Holman tied up the game at 3-3 until Chris Gray, who's playing attack, definitely where he belongs. He played so much better this game at attack, but he catches this ball on the low wing. He drives in, shows off good balance, good strength, and is able to sneak in this crease dive right off the post. Pretty impressive play from Chris Gray, who's not the tallest guy or the strongest guy in the world, but he does show off good strength, good balance to be able to eat this check, maybe push on the back and still finish that one through contact. And I guess it got a little personal for Garrett Degnan here. Ethan Rahl is bringing the ball down the field, throws the ball, and real late, honestly, Degnan just cross-checks him real high, right in the head, right in the neck area. He ends up getting a 1 minute unreleasable for that hit. To finish off the first half highlights, Asher Nolting catches this one, driving up from X, bodies up Chris Fake, couple spins, ends up taking the shot, and then calls Chris Fake too small. Now, Chris Fake is not a small guy, so I'm pretty sure Asher Nolting's probably the only guy in the league who can call him too small. You could probably call any defender in the league too small, honestly, besides Graham Hallstack. We saw how that matchup went last week. Yeah, I mean, I usually want to side with the defenders on plays like this, but Chris Fake's playing good defense, but there's really nothing you could do. He is, in this instance, too small. So at the end of the first half, the game is tied 4-4, which is somewhat surprising given the momentum that the Cannons had coming into this week and the fact that they are back in their home stadium for the first time in many years. The crowd was definitely behind them this entire game, but this game kind of had some old school vibes to it. A little bit low scoring, a little bit of a defensive showing here. No one can really get things going on offense, but it was pretty entertaining, back and forth, close game nonetheless. Let's get right into the second half. The Redwoods kick off our second half highlights with this really clean play between Ryder Garnsey and Wes Berg. Ryder Garnsey throws this sweet pass into traffic to Wes Berg. I don't know why he thought or how he thought Wes Berg was open, but he throws him open here. Wes Berg, when you see the replay, was actually super slick with this finish. Besides it just being like a quasi crease dive, he catches it, throws a fake like backhand shovel shot, which is tough to see. Look real close here. He fakes low, tiptoes right over the crease, and then finishes high over Kirst. Really impressive catch and finish there from Wes Berg. It's crazy how he's able to maintain his balance while he's turning around, throwing those fakes, and also avoiding the crease at the same time. Great play by the Redwoods there. About halfway through the quarter, Ethan Rahl plays some great defense, is able to land the can opener check and Garrett Degnan. Ball is on the floor. Redwoods pick it up. They get a shot off. Eaten up by Kirst. Kirst finds his midi, breaking up the field in transition, kicks off the fast break. No look pass to Marcus Holman, who snipes a corner again. Earlier, I showed you the highlight of him sniping top left. This time, it's top right. Perfectly in that corner. Insane accuracy from Marcus Holman. But let's give some credit who, I think that was the short stick D midi on the Cannons, throws this sweet no-look pass. He's able to draw the slide, get the defense rotating, and when Marcus Holman's wide open at that spot on the field, yeah, you can bet your entire house he is putting that one away. And not really a highlight, but a funny little play here. Marcus Holman dances a little bit, gets open at 5-5, takes his shot, and I'm not sure how this happens, but as he's taking this shot, his stick goes flying. It's not really yard sale because he got the shot off, but just kind of funny to see. Then to cap off the third quarter, Ryan Drenner with the dick move of the century. Drenner catches a feed 6 yards from the goal and shoots this thing as hard as he can. Talk about a crease crank, bro. Chill a little bit. Jack Kelly made an amazing save there with his foot. That definitely hurt a lot. Somehow he acts like he doesn't even feel it. He throws open to Kai Montgomery, who's streaking up the field. He runs down the field, tries to get a goal, but he ends up getting rocked. Seriously though, Ryan Drenner, why you got a crease crank like that, bro? Don't do that. Don't be like that, man. So entering the fourth quarter, the Cannons lead the Redwoods 5-7, and it looks like the Redwoods are falling back into their old ways a little bit right now. They only scored 1 goal in the entire entirety of the third quarter. I think at one point they were on like a 15-minute scoring drought or something, going all the way back to the second quarter. And like I was saying earlier, with Nolting trying a lot of those creative moves but not really working out, he tries another one. He drives up the field, tries a BTB from about like 7 or 8 yards out. That one didn't look like it was anywhere near the net. I'm kind of picking on Nolting. He is a great player. I do like the way he plays a lot, always looking to make that extra pass. Speaking of failed creative shots, Ryder Garnsey catches this rebound, and I don't know what possesses a man to do this. Chris Gray tried this earlier, and Ryder Garnsey does it again. I mean, was he not open to just take a normal shot here, either overhand or underhand? But instead, he decides to spin all the way around 360 to try and get something on this backhand shot. But like, what makes you think to take this shot? Look at this. It's so extra. Halfway through the quarter, we see what is definitely one of my favorite plays in lacrosse, a long pole goal. This time, Jared Connors catches the pass back from Chris Gray. Fake shot, face dodge, drives in and puts it away. I feel like we've seen quite a few of these from long poles over the past couple weeks. Fake the 2-point shot, face dodge, drive in a little bit more, get a better shot opportunity and just puts that thing away. To be fair, with the 2-point rules in the PLL, if I ever see a long pole acting like he's about to pull up from deep, I probably would get frozen by any sort of like stutter step or fake out, because you just can't afford to let up those 2-point goals in the PLL. Quick note, the commentators, who I think were doing a great job so far this game, one thing I don't like was that they kept referring to the Redwoods as Cal, C-A-L, which is obviously short for California. I don't know, just kind of bothered me. I didn't really like that. Got kind of annoying. I'd much rather them refer to them as California or the Redwoods or even the Reds. I just don't like the name Cal. Small nitpick, not a big deal though. That Jared Connors shot did end up tying the game. And here is the perfect example of what I mean about Chris Gray. Definitely needs to stay down at attack. He catches this ball, doesn't like his angle, sweeps across the top of the field, running time and room, got his hands free, puts this one away. With a guy that is that smart of a player who operates in those gray areas on the field, you just can't run him out of the box at midfield. You have to leave him at attack. And I get the mindset of coach. He doesn't want like 3 kind of ball dominant players, Rob Panell, Ryder Garnsey, and Chris Gray down there. Westberg kind of gives you that aspect of having that off ball presence, but I think Chris Gray can do enough of that off ball stuff, as well as Garnsey. They both find themselves in pretty good spots, so I think running Panell, Garnsey, and Chris Gray at attack is probably the move for the Redwoods. But yeah, coaches will love this shot. He gets all right in front of the net, increases his angle as much as possible, and then puts this one away. Another one that beats Kirst, sticks side high. Interesting to see that from a good goalie, not able to save 3 of those now that I've shown you guys. That nip from Chris Gray completes his hat trick on the day and brings the Redwoods to leading the Cannons by 2 goals, 9-7. And yes, I'm even showing you guys riding highlights here. Pause. But a poor lollipop hospital pass from the Cannons defender, and Ryder Garnsey does something I've never seen. He intercepts like an over-the-shoulder pass. He doesn't even really look at the ball. He just looks up, running this way. The ball's coming over his head, and is able to grab that one hand over the defender, which of course is great, causing a turnover on the ride, giving the Redwoods yet another opportunity late in the game. That play from Garnsey led to this perfect opportunity for the Redwoods and Charlie Bertrand, who gets wide open right in front of the net, but Kirst robs him, making up for those couple stick side shots that he let in earlier in the game. I don't know how he pulls that off. Incredible reactions, way to read the shot. Bertrand does have to do a little better. Throw a fake or something, man. You can't just shoot it off rip like that. I guess I gotta count that as a crease crank too. Come on, man. Now, with only 30 seconds left in the game, the Cannons are down by 2 goals, which if you saw the game last week, that's not a comfortable spot for the Redwoods to be in, considering the Cannons had 5 2-pointers last game. They only need 1 here to tie it up and send it to overtime. They get the ball in the stick of their best player, Marcus Holman, who has a short stick D-midi on him, Tevlin, but Tevlin makes an incredible play in clutch time at the end of the game. He's able to strip Marcus Holman, getting a cause turnover, which more or less secures the game for the Redwoods. Incredible play by the short stick midi there. As a Redwoods fan, you absolutely love to see the short stick D midi closing out the game like that. That one really fired me up. So that's the end of the game there. The Redwoods were able to spoil the first game of the Cannons homecoming. Honestly, I did not see that coming at all. They pick up their first win of the season. Even though I did question Nat St. Laurent a little bit at the beginning of this video and question the lineup that they rolled out, it ended up working for them. They were able to grind out a win, a nice strong gritty win, great defensive play, only holding the Cannons to 7 goals. Hopefully they can keep this momentum rolling to the second half of the season. Overall, it was a pretty defensive, old school, slow paced feeling game. I really liked it though. Unlike last week, the Cannons got almost no production from their role players today, which was a massive part of why they were able to win last week against the Archers. Their stars definitely played well, but the rest of the team didn't play bad, but they didn't step up like they needed to. Before we end the video, let's go over some of the notable performances from this game. The 2 stars at attack for the Cannons, Marcus Holman and Asher Nolting, they played pretty well. Marcus Holman had 4 points, all 4 of those coming from goals. Asher Nolting had 1 goal and 3 assists. And Garrett Epple, against his former team, he puts up a nice stat line of 3 cause turnovers and 2 ground balls. On the Redwoods side of things, I was saying at the beginning of the video how they needed more production from their midfield. Well, they did not get it. They were still able to win the game, which was great, but their attack had literally all of their points besides 2. Charlie Bertrand had 1 goal, and then their LSM had a goal. So I'm not even really going to count that LSM goal because you don't really game plan for that. Bertrand, yes, he got 1 point, but everything else came from their attack. They need to start getting some help from their midfield. TD Erlin had another great game, putting up a 70% win percentage at the faceoff X. He's off to a really nice start to this season, finally coming into that consistent dominant role that the Redwoods had expected for him. And finally, their goalie Jack Kelly also had a really good game, putting up a 65% save percentage against the Cannons. So the Redwoods really got saved, honestly, by their attack and their specialty positions, the goalkeeper and their faceoff guy. All right, and that really wraps up everything I have for this video. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you liked the video, please drop a like. I don't ask you for likes until the end of the video because I think it's a little rude to ask you for likes before you've even seen the video and be able to judge it. So now that you've seen it, drop a like if you liked it. If you didn't like it, drop a comment. Let me know what I can improve on. We will be covering the rest of the games from this weekend over the course of this week. If you guys don't already, follow me on Instagram and TikTok at ThiefStrings. We're posting a lot of content on there as well. And that's really all I have for you guys. Thank you very much for watching once again, and have a great day.